Thank you, Dan. Welcome then to one of the most unlikely playoff semi-finals that we've seen for years. 12 months ago, the prospect of Huddersfield meeting Leeds for a place at Wembley would have seemed preposterous. The Terriers had just finished in the bottom 5, losing nearly half of their league games. And whilst their Bedfordshire counterparts had outperformed all expectations to edge into the top half, the prospect of Luton being able to claim another 13 points on top of that seemed fanciful in the context of squad depth, budgets, and how far and fast they'd risen over the previous 8 years. So whatever happens tonight, the 21-22 campaign has been an outrageous success, a season to remember and be applauded. But to tonight's losers, of course, that will be of scant consolation, because having got to this point, there's only one outcome that's desirable, whether your absence from the top flight has been 3 years or more than 30. For one, a Wembley day out beckons, a shot at getting back to the elite. For the other, the season ends here in West Yorkshire tonight. And as any fan who's ever experienced it will tell you, a playoff semi-final defeat is a galling, sickening way to go. Friday's first leg was a tight, close-run occasion. Luton's first half superiority reversed in the second, but neither side able to make a big stride towards Wembley when they were on top. That 1-1 draw clearly appears to favour Huddersfield, whose impressive home form casts a shadow over the Hatters' results on the road against the better teams. But favouritism can be a heavy burden to bear at times. The Terriers make 2 changes. Turton's injured, Sarr makes way, Pippa and Colwell come in. It's Nichols in goal, Lees, Hogg and Colwell, Pippa, Holmes, O'Brien and Toffolo, with Stanani and Holmes wide of Ward. 2 changes for Luton as well. Snodgrass in for Lansbury, who has a calf injury, whilst Hilton is preferred to Jerome, and top scorer Adebayo is back on the bench. Ingram in goal, Berg, Bradley and Naismith, Bree, Campbell, Clark and Bell, Snodgrass behind Hilton and Cornick. Luton in their vivid orange shirts with the very dark blue shorts, and they will kick from right to left in the first half, defending the south stand, which is the one that houses the travelling Luton supporters who've had traffic difficulties getting here with the M1 being closed today. Huddersfield blue and white striped shirts, white shorts. They're defending the north stand away to our left hand side. Referee today is Peter Banks, and he's just waiting for the signal to get us underway. Well, nothing to split the McKennaworth Road, but whose night will end with a bitter taste at the John Smiths? For somebody, a season of success is about to finish in tears, but who'll be Wembley bound at the end of the evening? Huddersfield launched the ball forward over halfway. Sinani's going to chase after it, think sensing perhaps he was offside. Bradley heads it away from him, and it goes out of play for a throw on the left-hand side. Well, Mickey Gray's alongside me. Mickey, this is the 4th playoff semi-final I've been lucky enough to come to this season, the 3rd of them with you, and like the previous 3, the atmosphere extraordinarily intense.
Absolutely, Jim. This is what it's all about. You can imagine what's going through all these supporters' minds at the moment. They've come here with all good intentions, and they're so special. They really are. But at the end of the game, at the end of the 2 legs, you want to be on top. You want to be having that journey to Wembley Stadium, and you want to have that chance to get to the promised land. And it's all about this 90 minutes in front of us here.
Luton are going to get the first corner. There's the long ball is played forward. And the Terriers back line not taking any chances. Colwell just stooping and heading away. And Luton get a corner, which could be one of the keys for them tonight. They scored from a corner on Friday. Sonny Bradley coming in, and he's made his way forward here towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinging delivery here from Robert Snodgrass, playoff veteran. Cornick waits on the edge of the penalty area, but there are 6 in Luton orange in more advanced positions around the edge of the 6-yard box. Swung in with pace, headed away at the near post, and they'll do it all again. Corner number 2 is Ward that cleared.
I have to say, great ball into the area from Snodgrass there, Jim, but every Luton player around about the 6-yard area, they just change it up to the second corner, but that's certainly something that they have worked on.
So this time Burke, Bradley and Hilton all make runs from deeper. Swung again, looking for the near post flick, which wasn't forthcoming. It's cleared out only as far as James Bree. Second time of asking, he helps it in. Hilton ducks his head and just tries to flick one towards goal, but it goes over the bar, out of play. Good start from Luton Town, as it was the other night. As one of the points that we made on Friday, just how quickly Luton do come out of the blocks on a very regular basis, excuse me. It's something that Carlos Corberán would have stressed to his players. Just make sure you hang in there in the early stages and try and weather the early storm. But Luton very much on the front foot from the off.
Yeah, without a doubt. Trying to get a lot of bodies forward as quick as they possibly can. Again, winning the ball up high. And that's just given them the opportunity to put Huddersfield under pressure at the back. I mean, they can't, look, we're early into the game, but they can't get out of their own half of them. And I mean, listen to this atmosphere. Wow, it's fantastic.
I think every Huddersfield fan, with the exception of those in the director's box just in front of us, are on their feet and doing everything they can to help their side over the line tonight. 0-0 in the early stages, 1-1 on aggregate. Again, Luton on the front foot. Colwell, who's playing the age of 19, his first ever playoff match tonight. He just tucks his head in and guides it back for his goalkeeper, Levi Colwell, who's an England under-19 international. He's on loan from Chelsea. Another Chelsea connection in the midfield with John Russell, who's 2 years his senior. Chelsea let him go, and he's been a revelation at the Terriers this season. Goalkeeper plays it back for John Hogg, who didn't really want it there from Nichols inside his penalty area, but Huddersfield will be able to play their way out. Holmes, nice touch, turn around the corner then by Sinani. And an opportunity for Huddersfield to bring it forward with O'Brien. Out towards the left flank. Ward making his way into the middle. It's not going to get to him. Headed away easily enough by Bradley. And then coming back to cover, Pippa has done really well. Gobbled up the yards against the much more senior Snodgrass. Just had that advantage in terms of pace. And was able to get there first. Nathan Jones acts as the ball boy and urges Amari Bell to come forward to take the throw quickly. And Luton still trying to continue with this real intensity that we've seen in the opening 4.5 minutes. Still 0-0 though.
Well, a super start from Luton, but they got caught. They tried the press. Huddersfield broke through the press. They got their first opportunity down that left-hand side with some lovely play through the centre of the field. They worked it really well. Just that first-time ball into the box. Look, there was one Huddersfield player to try and pick out. They have to wait for runners.
Now Colwell just trying to bend one forward from the left of the three centre-halves. He looked for Ward, who'd made an early run. He was frustrated. He just held up and tried to play in Sinani. Didn't quite get the angle right, but the timing was excellent. Luton win it back, get it upfield. Huddersfield very quickly get possession back again with Lee Nichols. Nichols playing it to the edge of his penalty area, and back it will go to him again. Huddersfield did lose at home to 4 of the other 6 sides that finished in the top 7 of the championship this season, but they beat Luton here last month by 2-0. This actually the third meeting then of these two sides in the space of a little over 4.5 weeks. Luton winning it back again in the midfield with Bell. Handball shout went against him. Holmes was able to bring it forward for Huddersfield anyway, and then brilliantly dancing through the midfield, O'Brien. Good quick feet from him. Burke comes back and fouls him, and it's going to be a free kick which will be taken by Huddersfield. Burke might be spoken to here by referee Peter Baggs. That was fantastic from O'Brien. You can see why so many very astute judges think he's going to be playing Premier League football next season, be it with Huddersfield or be it with somebody else.
Well, great feat, Jim, I have to say. The little tic-tac, left foot to the right foot, back to his left foot, skip past Clark and Bree in that midfield area. Very clever one-sided free kick.
And it's a free kick which is taken by Sinani, but too deep. And Luton goalkeeper Ingram will just watch it safely over the dead ball line and out of play for a goal kick. He's just got something about him, O'Brien. A veteran of more than 100 games for Huddersfield in the midfield already by the age of 23, but just very quick feet, good presence about him as well.
And he's got a good brain as well. It was that nice play just a couple of minutes earlier from O'Brien. He played the ball out to the left-hand side. He was aware of what was around him, just chopped it onto his left foot. And he's just clever. It's a simple pass out to the left-hand side, but he's got his side now on the front foot.
from the goal kick. Hilton helps it on. Snodgrass, they're getting the better of Hogg, and he's played in Cornick. The angle's tight, across the face of goal and wide. Half chance for Luton, and Harry Cornick split the difference really between the far post and Hilton coming in at that far side, or James Bree. Couldn't find either of them, and it was a really good chance.
Well, this three at the back, Lees, Hogg and Colwill, are in for a night tonight, because Cornick and Hilton are just a nuisance. Hilton is the physical presence. He's putting himself about the centre halves, and you've got Cornick who's running in behind them. He just scuffs that. I don't know if it was a shot come cross or what. He didn't really try and pick anybody out, but they are not giving Huddersfield a second on the ball at the back.
Hogg plays it back for Colwill. Hogg has it again. He was such an influence in the second half in Bedfordshire on Friday, when Huddersfield enjoyed so much possession, and Hogg seemingly was on the ball all the time in that, using it very cleverly. Terry's getting forward here for Ward, and it's a clever turn from him in the midfield. Man who won the playoff final 10 years ago in League One as a Huddersfield player. Here's Pippa, back for Holmes. The American international near the edge of the D, laying it off for O'Brien. Can't get himself into a shooting position, then stumbles as he tried to play it in towards Ward, and Colwill has shoved Hilton as both players chase Luton's out ball. Free kick taken really quickly, brilliantly as well. Cornick, right hand side of the penalty area, making his way forward. It's not much more of an effective shot than his last one. It looped up off the nearest Huddersfield player. Pippa a little bit panic stricken, maybe have more time than he thought, clears his lines, and Luton get a throw.
You cannot switch off. Huddersfield defenders there, because O'Brien's got the ball. He had the opportunity to take a left foot shot himself, trying to chop it onto his right foot, gets it wrong, and then in one pass they're down the other end with Cornick. 2v1 situation, just trying to work it onto his right foot, but great defending.
Long throw inside the penalty area, and Huddersfield can repel it, knock it away, and then O'Brien with a touch that has gone back to his goalkeeper. In fact, it's gone over the line off a Luton player for a goal kick, and there's one that Nichols wants to take quickly, and that is a really good pass, fired out towards the left wing and taken down by O'Brien. O'Brien working it back for Harry Toffolo, who's been in good goal scoring form at the end of this season, 4 in his last 6 games. Now Hogg to Holmes, turning in the midfield and playing it into the feet of Sinani. Sinani, little 1-2 with Hogg, and the Luxembourg international gets the instruction to turn, and he obliges, plays it down towards Pippa. Back for the blonde-haired, experienced defender Tom Lees in his white boots, and now Hogg has it again. Still tickled by that nickname he has, the Middlesbrough Mascherano. Down towards Holmes. Holmes has lost out. Hilton coming in from the blind side. Holmes then tried to foul him and couldn't. Hilton able to maintain possession, laying it back here. Good ball forward from Campbell. Naismith from centre half. In for Cornick. What a save! An instinctive point-blank range save by Nichols, and somehow Huddersfield survive. A brilliant Luton move. It looks as though Cornick just had to make contact to score, and somehow Nichols got something to it, and it stays 0-0.
What a chance. Great movement from Luton Town there. Just again broke the press, worked it well down the left-hand side, and it was Naismith with a great ball into the area. And Cornick, he's done everything right. He's kept it down, he's kept it low, he's hit the target, and Nichols was in the right place at the right time with an outstanding save.
Not his first this season by any stretch of the imagination. Lee Nichols in his first campaign here, having arrived from the MK Dons last summer. 18 clean sheets he's had, and he's conceded at a rate of less than a goal a game, which is hugely creditable. Huddersfield bring it forward again, and it comes down through the midfield from Sinani. Pippa flicking it towards the edge of the box. Sonny Bradley's there to head it away, and it goes out for a throw that Pippa will take, and he just looks over at his manager, Carlos Corberán, who had his 100th game in charge of the Terriers the other night, just asking for clarification whether this is the long throw. Do you want it now, or shall I try and put it into feet? And still he's looking. You can't hear anything on a night like this in this loud, very vociferous atmosphere that is being created by supporters from both teams, but
it's interesting to see what information was actually passed on to him there, Jim, because surely you must know before the game starts what you're doing with the throw-in.
Good turn by Sinani, and a good tackle coming in on him as well from Campbell. Laid back by Snodgrass to the edge of the penalty area. Naismith gets it forward. Stumble by Clark on a wet, greasy playing surface. We've had a monsoon-like storm within the last hour and a half here, which has made it really zippy, and players from both sides struggling to keep their feet at times. Snodgrass just loses out on the far touchline. It's a Huddersfield throw. Midway inside the Luton half. It's 0-0 on TalkSport. 12 and a half gone. 1-1 on aggregate. Pippa rolling it down the right-hand side of the area for Holmes. And Huddersfield win their first corner as the retreating Danny Hilton heads it away. Mickey Gray.
This is such an open game. It's really surprised me, actually, because I thought it would have been tight and intense, certainly from one of the sides, but it's open. Every time Luton get the ball, they're just looking to get it forward, certainly down that right-hand side, using the pace of Cornick in Huddersfield, left-hand, right-hand side with Holmes and Sinani. They're trying to get them on the ball, just getting that ball in the area, and it wants for a fantastic game, which we've had so far.
13 gone. 0-0. Newcastle against Arsenal just about to kick off. Anything of any consequence happens, you'll hear about it here on TalkSport from Graham Courtney. And it's a game that Arsenal have to win to keep their fate for fourth in their own hands. Just a little delay before this left-footed in-swinging corner from Sinani. Plenty of movement towards the near post now, which was the decoy. He went deep, but too deep as he looked for Colwell. Missed him, and it curved straight out of play for a goal kick. It was a waste. 13 and a half gone, 0-0.
It's amazing, isn't it, when you see all the coaches and the managers throughout every single league of how they take different corners, as we've seen early on with the Luton guys, that everybody in the 6-yard area. On this occasion, Huddersfield with their corner, everybody's waiting just at the edge of the 6-yard area, spread around, just trying to find that little opening. But the quality has to be there. Left foot this time, we came into the box. It's got too much pace on it, too much height. They must work on them so much. When you get the chance to put it in the right areas, you can't let the players down.
Here's Naismith, Scotsman for Luton, played forward down to Snodgrass, who chases after it. At his age, he won't want to make too many chases in vain like that. Well, it goes straight out of play for a throw that'll be taken down by the corner flag. I say at his age, he's 15 years younger than us, but even so, he's just turns. He chased after it very obediently, knew from a long way out he wasn't getting there. It goes out of play for a throw that'll be taken on the Huddersfield right-hand side. 0-0, 1-1 an aggregate here on TalkSport. Tomorrow, it's the second leg of the other playoff semi-final. Sheffield United with work to do at Forest, 2-1 down from the first leg. And it's live with Ian Danter here on TalkSport tomorrow night. Huddersfield with Toffolo into the tall, elegant ball-playing midfielder Russell. Back from him to Hogg. Hogging inside his own half of the centre circle, goes square to his right for Lees, and then back it goes again. Blue skies here in West Yorkshire now, though the floodlights are on. As the ball goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken over on the Luton right, which is the far side, in front of the curved stand. It does look like something out of an H.G. Wells novel, this ground, with the curves of the roof, the floodlight pylons leaning over at the corners into the ground with their four legs. Ball goes out towards the right-hand side of the penalty area. Bree laying it back, left-footed shot comes in. Oh, spilled by the goalkeeper. It came out for Bell, who knocked it wide. Well, Nichols diving to his right-hand side. He's made one tremendous save tonight. That was an aberration, just a wet ball. It got out of his grasp, just fell for Bell coming in, but he had to hit it first time and couldn't get the angle right, and it drifted wide.
I'm really surprised that Nichols has actually punched that one away from his area. I mean, Snodgrass, I think, with the opportunity with his left foot, he's tried to curl it into the top corner, didn't get enough height on it. Maybe Nichols thought it was just going to bounce in front of him, and he's punched it away, and he was very fortunate with the rebound. It just went wide of the post.
Now Holmes coming in from the right flank for Huddersfield. Pippa making a run on the overlap for him. He's played in, he controls it, shuffles inside the penalty area, gets it away from Bell. Pull it back away from Holmes, but O'Brien mops up. Now it's played by Hogg out towards Toffolo, and Huddersfield have the opportunity to bring it forward again. They're 15 outside the edge of the Luton penalty area. Toffolo makes a run, left-footed ball in from him, appeals for handball against Hilton, but they were very optimistic. It's cleared, goes out of play for another Terriers throw. Huddersfield needing a positive result tonight to at least they get this to extra time. They've only lost 3 of their last 30 3-0 matches. They've only lost one of the last 14 here, which was when Bournemouth beat them back in March. So they'll be more than confident of being able to lay a solid foundation, which they're doing, trying to weather the early storm for Luton, and they've done that to an extent as well. But the best chances have all come away to our left-hand side, and Lee Nichols much the busier of the 2 goalkeepers at the moment. He's got the ball at his feet, comes outside the box, plays it to Hogg, now to Colwell, and Colwell under pressure from Hilton, plays it to Toffolo, comes in off the touchline, finds Hogg again, hardly a misplaced pass from the Teessider, and he'll play it forward once more towards O'Brien. O'Brien with a good injection of pace, and still he goes. O'Brien just not laying it off edge of the area. Holmes trying to take a touch with Pippa in space to his right. It was cleared by Bell, then controlled by Hogg, chipped in for Ward, optimistic header, and despite the U's and R's, Ingram always had it covered. Over the bar, out of play, goal kick, 18 gone, 0-0 on TalkSport.
They play some wonderful stuff, Huddersfield, at times, and they get it into some really good areas. The last opportunity there from Danny Ward, I think his decision was made for him because of the cross. He couldn't bring it down, it was just in front of him, he had to lean forward a little bit. Very difficult to keep underneath that crossbar. But again, Jim, what about that ability from Lewis O'Brien in that midfield area? Again, just breezing past 2 Luton Town players. I mean, he's so comfortable on the ball. It's like he knows exactly what's around him before the ball actually arrives, which is a great tool to have.
Here's Hogg for Huddersfield. And plays it down towards Pippa, who will come over the halfway line, right in front of the 2 managers. Carlos Corberán, the Huddersfield boss, just trying to adjust the position of Dwayne Holmes, telling him to drop that little bit deeper into the midfield. They play predominantly wide on the right-hand side of a front 3 the other night, but he also has the ability to play where Corberán has just asked him to come in now. So they've got Russell as the defensive-minded midfielder, and then Holmes is in there, Ward up front on his own, and they've got O'Brien alongside Sinani and Holmes on the right. And just for a moment they're playing kind of 3-6-1 formation almost. Now Holmes will make his way forward as Toffolo has the ball. Referee's positioning did Huddersfield no favours there. O'Brien driving it forward again. Little layoff from Sinani. Out to the left. Back through the midfield from Colwell to Russell. Down towards Lees. And Tom Lees, the former Sheffield Wednesday man, finds Pippa. Pippa, a bundle of energy, drawing Amari Bell, the Luton left wing back, out of position. Lays it back for Hogg. Colwell controls it with his first touch and plays it forward with his second. The edge of the centre circle, Sinani chipping it forward. Holmes controls it, takes it down towards the right-hand touchline. An opportunity now for him to try and take on Clark and beat him. Right-footed ball inside the penalty area. He's chested down. Sinani tries to bring it down but can't. Luton might be able to bring it away here with Campbell on the counter-attack. And he gets it forward towards Cornick. Cornick hasn't got too much in the way of immediate support, but he's laid it back for Snodgrass. Clark peels away to his left-hand side. Behind him is Bell, and that's the pass that is played. Now towards Clark, looking across the line, stays onside. Lees blocks the cross, sliding in, and Pippa can bring it away. Then a deft touch from Sinani, cushioning it beautifully into the path of Holmes, who can drive forward. He'll try and release it out towards the left-hand side for Ward. Ward taking on Burke on the left-hand side of the penalty area, chips it in, and Naismith is there to attack it and clears it into Sinani and out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Luton left-hand side. Terrace couldn't get the bodies forward quickly enough there in support of Danny Ward as he was forced across it first time.
And Danny Ward in a 1v1 situation with these Luton centre-halves, he's got them on toast. You have to try and get on the shoulders if you're him, because these Huddersfield players are getting themselves on a half-turn. They need to just play that ball through to him. If he's got space in behind, you've got to play it, but it's so open. It feels like it's 2v2, whether it's Luton attacking or whether it's Huddersfield attacking. Again, it's so open, this football match. It's just incredible.
The possession at the moment 70-30 in Huddersfield's favour, but Luton have had 5 of the 7 chances we've seen tonight, and both of those on target. So the Hatters' game plan working very effectively at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, you just look, they want to get on with things. They're not taking the time over free kicks, throw-ins, they're getting the ball forward. And look at the bodies. Throwing everybody forward.
Campbell plays it out towards the Luton Town right-hand side. Back it comes now for Bradley. Score of the Luton goal in that first leg. Bell heading it on. Hilton bringing it down, controlling it. It's a very neat turn from Danny Hilton as well, who's making only the 4th start of his season tonight. Ball goes out towards Burke. Burke playing it forward again through the midfield. Campbell getting more heavily involved now. Back for Snodgrass. And to the right again. Fired in very deep, too deep, straight into the hands of Nichols. And we're midway through the first half at 0-0. As soon as he controls it, his first thought, the goalkeeper, always get it forward as quickly as possible to get Ward isolated against one of the centre-halves, invariably Bradley, but sometimes Burke. Didn't work on that occasion for him. And then as the Huddersfield players, as Sinani goes down, he's unceremoniously waved back up to his feet from Campbell, who thought that he dived. Luton bring it forward with Bradley. Bradley goes out towards Reece Burke, the former West Ham man, playing it to James Bree, who had a brief spell at Villa, former Barnsley player as well. Down towards Naismith. Naismith controlling it on the edge of the centre circle before going back out towards the Luton Town right. And Bree will take a touch and then another, just bringing it forward to about 20 yards inside the Huddersfield half. 0-0. Very picturesque stadium, this. An architectural masterpiece, and as Mickey was explaining earlier, such a beautiful natural setting as well, with the forestry behind the east stand on the far touchline from us. Played in towards Hilton, half cleared by Colwell, but then back to the left-hand side of the penalty area for Harry Cornick. Cornick's ball across the edge of the area. Snodgrass lets it run. Campbell will get there. A little bit more time to get there than perhaps was ideal as far as the Huddersfield fans were concerned, but they can bring it away with O'Brien. Sliding in Naismith dispossesses Sinani, and then Luton win the seconds in the midfield again. More animation from Carlos Corberán in front of us on the Huddersfield bench. Snodgrass inside the centre circle lays it back for Naismith. Left-footed curving ball from him goes out to the Luton right. You're listening to Huddersfield against Luton in the EFL Championship playoff semi-final. It's live on Talk Sport with McDonald's Fun Football. Search McDonald's Fun Football to find out more. Here's Mickey Gray.
Well, Jim, it would worry me if I was Carlos Corberán of how easy it seems to be for Luton to get down either side of the width of Huddersfield. They're playing, well, supposed to be playing two wide players, Huddersfield, but they're not. They're playing narrow. Look here in again.
Hilton has it, right-hand side of the penalty area. Can't get a cross in. Colwell goes shoulder to shoulder with him. Hilton goes to ground, claiming a penalty. Referee is absolutely not interested at all.
No, I mean, he's got to his feet. I don't think any Luton player were running through the referee asking for a penalty. Yes, there was a little bit of contact, but I think he was losing his balance anyway there. But as I was just mentioning there, Jim, you can see on the left-hand side, you know, whether it's Naismith breaking forward, Bell on the other side, you've got Bree and Snodgrass. They've just got so much time and space just to pick those passes out wide, and what is happening is it's a 2v1 situation. Look in front of us now. I mean, the two managers, you talk about the 12th man being the crowd, it's not really, is it? It's in the technical area, and they don't stand still, the two of them.
And Carlos Corberán, I bet he's got some moves on the dance floor.
I can't believe there's no memes about him yet. There's got to be somewhere.
Well, if they stuck the Bee Gees on the tannoy here, that would just have been the perfect backdrop for what we've just seen from him. Jumping up and down and, man, with great rhythm. But the point that he was trying to make was that Holmes had made a really good run forward. But the ball was played a couple of seconds too late and a far too wide an angle. Luton will bring it forward again. Cornick controlling edge of the area, but this time he's offside, and it's a free kick that Huddersfield will take on the edge of their box. 26 minutes gone, it's 0-0. Let's go to Tyneside, Newcastle Arsenal, Graham Courtney.
And it is Newcastle 0, Arsenal 0. We got, 11 minutes on the clock here. Best chance for Newcastle only a couple of minutes ago. Bruno with a free kick. He's blasted it through a crowd of players. How it's not actually deflected in, goodness listeners. Really lively start here, though. Approaching 12 on the clock. Newcastle 0, Arsenal 0.
Thank you, Graham. Here's Danny Hilton for Luton, losing out again, but Campbell picks up the seconds, running to the edge of the penalty area. Cornick from a wide position fires it in, and Luton get their third corner of the night.
Yeah, just winning the ball high. Same again, nothing's changed in the way that Luton are playing. They're on that high press, winning the ball up as quick as they possibly can. And it's not Cornick all the time through the middle. He works to the right-hand side this time, tries to get his ball into the area first time, just gets blocked away, but gives Snodgrass another opportunity just to see how Luton are going to set up here again. You know, they've had so many different changes with these corners. They're all working towards that 6-yard area.
Yeah, it's some extensive repertoire they've got, and they've got 7 inside the penalty area to attack this. In from Snodgrass with pace. The referee says take it again, because there was some pushing and shoving going on inside the 6-yard box before the ball was kicked by Snodgrass. The referee saying that he blew before the delivery was taken, and so they will do it all again. The referee's just trying to calm down the protagonists inside that 6-yard box. It's a controversial decision that the fans don't like. The wrestling that was going on, I think Campbell was involved in it. Maybe Campbell on leash inside the penalty area, but it is a retake of corner number 3. Whipped it again towards that near post area. Very good defensive header from Colwell to get it away. But back out towards Snodgrass. Better angle on the ball in. Bradley going up for it. Couldn't get there. It was cleared from just in front of him. Luton pick it up with Clark. Oh, wonderful turn from Clark. Then, having beaten his man, he turned back the wrong way. So he had to try and beat him again, but he's got it squeezed in between Pippa and Hogg. Down towards the byline. Back for Naismith, who's got time to measure the cross. Rolls his studs over the ball to get it moving slowly. Drives it in, but too much pace. And Nathan Jones turns away as the ball goes out of play for a throw. Puts his hands together, looks up to the heavens, and it's gone out of play for a throw that'll be taken on the Huddersfield left. 29 gone. Hugely entertaining. This is some 0-0 this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're the away side, Jim, you know, you're probably coming here thinking that you're going to have to soak up a little bit of pressure within the first 10 or 15 minutes. Well, it has not been the case. Every single time they get the ball, Luton, it's one pass sideways, the next one is somebody's playing the ball forward. You've got runners in behind, and when they get in that final third, I mean, the quality from Snodgrass's corners has been absolutely top class. It really has, and these Huddersfield defenders have got to clear their lines. I mean, they're throwing everything on the line. They have to, because they keep giving corners away, and they keep changing it up. There's 3 in the 6-yard area, but the last one was, you could have drawn a line from the goalkeeper across the penalty spot. Every single player was in a line.
Now Cornick, after a very clever throw-in routine, lays it back for Bree, and it's a well-timed save, diving away to his right-hand side by Nichols. That was such a clever throw. They set up for a long throw. They threw it back to Naismith. Everyone then expecting him to drive it in, and he chipped it over the nearest Huddersfield defender, back out towards Cornick, who could take it on a touch, fire an effective ball in. Bree with an effort, and it was well saved. Only a rare goal scorer, James Bree, close to what would have been only the 3rd goal of his career there. Another important save, and another Luton corner. In from the near post, and towards the near post this time. Naismith going up for it, and it's taken a touch off Hogg. And Luton have their 5th corner and their 3rd in quick succession.
They have to try and sort this out, because they just can't get out of their own half, Huddersfield, and when they do, the opportunities are not there for them. Luton's quality from these corners has been absolutely exceptional. Just need that first touch, that glancing touch, to try and break the deadlock.
So it's going to be another in-swinging ball towards the near post, and he did take a touch on his way through there. Hilton came to meet it. He flicked it on down towards the far post, and nobody could get a touch to turn it over the line. Inexplicably, Luton well on top now, but it's still 0-0.
They're going to have to make this count, Jim. They're going to have to make it count, Luton, because there's so much on top. The quality that they're showing from these set pieces, they've absolutely worked on it more than an hour what we used to do, but it was Campbell this time. The ball there, it was as if he wasn't ready for it. It took the little flick on at the near post. He was there, came at him in a difficult angle, of course it did, but just throw your body at it. Anything on it, you've got to just try and lean that ball towards goal. And at the minute, we're at the other end now. Huddersfield have just played a long ball. It's gone out for a goal kick. They're starting to panic a little bit. The system's starting to change. They're not playing the football that they were in the first 15-20 minutes.
Luton's away record has not been good. They've lost away to 5 of the other 6 sides in the top 7. And their results in those games, just 1 point out of a possible 18. They scored 2 and conceded 15. You'd never know it on the strength of this performance. This must be as well as they've played against elite opposition away from home all season. They have been fantastic so far, Luton. And when they started well on Friday, but their superiority didn't last quite as long as this, and it wasn't quite as marked as this at any stage. And Huddersfield were much better after half-time. The frustration for Nathan Jones will be that whilst they've been on top, they've forced good saves, and out of the goalkeeper, there have been some near misses as well, but they haven't found the breakthrough. One of the oldest adages in football, a real truism of the sport, you've got to score.
Yeah, when you're on top. Without a shadow of a doubt. And I'd have loved to have been in that Luton Town dressing room before kick-off, because whatever Nathan Jones has said to his players, to a man, it's been absolutely brilliant. It really has. Their work ethic is fantastic.
Holmes playing it forward here. It's flicked back towards his own goalkeeper by Clark, and appeals that it was a back pass. And all he was trying to do was get a touch to flick the cross away from Sinani. Goalkeeper came out and claimed it, and Peter Banks was more than happy that he did. 12 minutes to go to half-time. Huddersfield Town 0, Luton Town 0, 1-1 on aggregate. It's 0-0 when these two met back in October at Kenilworth Road. 1-1 Friday night, obviously 2-0 with goals from Russell and Sarr when Huddersfield beat Luton recently. Colwell looks as though he lost out to Bree. Bree stays down, injured. Cornick just stumbled at an inopportune moment, and Huddersfield will be able to bring it away and get O'Brien going down the left-hand side. Ward making a run towards the near post. Space for Sinani at the far. Nate Smith heads it away. Russell, the latest player to fall over on this greasy surface. And Luton will be able to bring it further forward. Only now is Bree getting back to his feet. Cornick plays it out wide for the run of Reece Burke. Luton get a throw. I'm not sure Bree is right. He's just on his feet now, but hopping up and down on the spot for a moment. Just trying to get the blood flowing again. I think he's going to be okay and able to continue without the need for any treatment. Last thing, Luton needs another injury. Adebayo on the bench but not fully fit. No Berry, no Ruddock, no Onyedinma either. But it has been an excellent performance from them. They started well and got better, and Huddersfield just hanging in there at the moment. 10 to go to the break. 0-0. Jim Proudfoot and Mickey Gray talking through the action in West Yorkshire tonight. As the ball on halfway is driven forward, Hilton flicks it on out towards Bell. Well, a free kick has been given. I mentioned a few minutes ago, it's only Danny Hilton's 4th start of the season. Yeah. He's been excellent.
I was just about to say, Jim, look, of all the forward players that Luton Town have got, none of that can happen without the physical presence of what we've seen from Dan Hilton so far in this game. He has been a nuisance. Anytime that ball goes up, look, he's on the run again now. He's not frightened to run in behind. Look, he's not the quickest, but he's willing to go in behind. But anytime that goes up in the air, he's challenging. 50-50 challenges, and most of the time in his game so far, he's coming out on top.
Given away by Pippa. Brought down by Clark. Snodgrass sets Cornick in. Now he'll be able to get it down by the dead ball line, left-hand side of the penalty area. Has to retrace his steps a little. He's found Bell. Bell for Clark. And his right-footed shot lacked power. It took an awkward bounce in front of the goalkeeper, but Nichols, in the form that he's been in, found that an easy save to make. Just got his hands down quickly and took it at Yorker length. It's still 0-0, but it was an excellent ball play for Cornick.
But again, the move is fantastic down this left-hand side, but Jordan Clark, he never really shaped his body for that little curl he was trying there. His angles were all wrong. He couldn't get any pace behind his effort. But again, we keep talking about it, Jim, and you just mentioned it yourself.
Huddersfield bring it forward, though. Good chance on the edge of the area for Toffolo. And it's saved by Ingram, back in for Holmes, and cleared again. Is it Ward that has gone down injured inside the penalty area? Play is allowed to continue for a moment. Now the referee gives Luton a free kick. Ward will be able to receive whatever treatment is necessary. He's down, crumpled to the floor inside the penalty area. There's a Luton player down holding his head as well. But that was Huddersfield's best move of the game. They love to get Toffolo forward. And it was a really good stop by Ingram.
Brilliant. And again, Jim, I was just about to mention, we've not really mentioned Toffolo's name in this game because he hasn't had the opportunity to get over the halfway line. But when he does, he just chops it right foot to his left foot. Again, he kind of scuffs his shot a little bit. He doesn't get enough power on it. But it's a bonkers game. This is a bonkers game. I've never seen a game so open in a championship game like this, where it's more basketball. It's end to end. Yes, Luton Town have had the better of it over the last 5 or 10 minutes, but when Huddersfield get the opportunity and they show that quality to what they've got, you can see they've got a goal in them, and it would just sap the energy out of Luton because of how well they played so far in this game. If they don't get a goal themselves and Huddersfield get the first one in this game, it's an awful feeling when you know how good you've been, but you still find yourself behind.
Well, they got the stretcher out for Ward, but he's okay. He's going to be fit to continue. While they finish sorting him out, we'll go back to St James's Park. Graham Courtney.
And it's still Newcastle 0, Arsenal 0. Just seen a shot, though, by Saka for Arsenal, and it was cleared away for a corner. But it's a wonderful game, this. Don't forget, of course, Arsenal must win this game, and they must win at the weekend if they want to continue those chances of Champions League football. End-to-end game here. Could go either way. Brilliant match. Newcastle 0, Arsenal 0.
Some game there at 0-0. Brilliant game here at 0-0. Ward just makes his way down towards this near touchline. He's fine. Still in discussion with the Huddersfield medical staff, but they're asking for permission for him to come back on. And play restarts with Luton in possession with Naismith. Now Ward is allowed to re-enter the playing surface. Burke back for Bradley. Bradley to Naismith on the left of Luton's three centre-halves. That's Saturday Night Fever again for him. He's got the Carlos Corberán I'm looking at. Now, you pointed at him and he gave it the Travolta finger point at 45 degrees to the top right-hand corner of the stand.
You can't help but not look down, Jim, because he's moving around everywhere. Carlos Corberán. He's quite static now. But any time he wants to get that ball forward, he's shuffling across his technical area. To witness it is something else. He wants to be out there playing, and it's great energy, and that filtrates across to the players.
Well, if this goes to a penalty shootout, and remember that's still an eminent possibility, it's going to be fantastic watching the pair of them then. The ball is with Snodgrass in the midfield, but not for long, because as a throw was quickly taken into his path by Bree. He tried to supply him with the return ball and got the angle wrong. Meanwhile, Danny Ward back down on his haunches. Naismith goes across to his adversary to make sure he's all right. Gives him a conciliatory rub on the back of the head. It looks as though Ward's race might be run. The fact that he's gone down again so soon after that initial treatment. Yeah,
it's a shame for Danny Ward. I was just having a look at how long it actually gone in the first half, Jim, whether they could have maybe left him on for a minute or so just to see if he can get a half time and they can maybe have a look, but I think his race is run. It looks like he's going to get to his feet, but he was shaking his head. It looks like there's going to be a substitution, and it's a shame for him. I think just below us, I think it's Jordan Rhodes, who we talked in the build-up about. And if you want opportunities, well, you know exactly what you've got to do with a player like Jordan Rhodes. It's a shame to see Danny Ward leaving the field. It's obviously going to be his last play throughout the whole of this season. Look, if they get to the final, he might be okay. Looks as if he's walking fine, but it gives Jordan Rhodes that opportunity of last couple of minutes in the first half, and certainly the second half. But you have to play to Jordan's strengths. Don't expect him to come short and get involved in the play, because that is not his strength. You've got to get the ball wide. Give Jordan the opportunity when you get around that 18-yard box, and he is such a goal poacher.
Well, Ward and Rhodes were Huddersfield teammates when they won the playoffs against Sheffield United back in 2012. 10 years on, they could conceivably both be in the side to take on Sheffield United in the Championship playoff final. A lot of water's got to go under the bridge for that exact set of circumstances to arise, of course. Sheffield United with so much work to do against Nottingham Forest tomorrow, but we'll find out together whether they manage it. It kicks off at 7:45 at the City Ground. Ian down to Trentside for you tomorrow night on Talk Sport. Rhodes on here, man who once scored 40 in a season for the Terriers. Luton had possession from the restart and work it via Bree out towards the right hand side for Campbell. Coming in short is Snodgrass. Snodgrass is 10 yards outside the penalty area. The yellow boots of Naismith just make their way forward towards the edge of the box. He's found Bell. Mari Bell back towards Naismith again. Naismith taking it on a touch. No pressure coming on the ball. Clark able to work it wide for Bree. Another right-footed snapshot, but the goalkeeper took a quick step to his left-hand side, was able to make the save. 3 to go till half-time, maybe 3 minutes to be added by way of stoppages as well. Still 0-0 and 1 apiece on aggregate.
Well, again, that's a couple of opportunities for James Bree. They're getting closer, and they're not frightened just to, whether they're 25 yards out or in the 18-yard area. If they've got half a yard in front of them, they get their laces through it and they aim for that target. Nichols, simple save for him really. Body in the way, just had to parry it down. But again, it's how easy Luton seem to be getting through this midfield and back line of Huddersfield.
Jonathan Hogg playing it to his left, and Huddersfield will be able to work it forward, but away from O'Brien, who had a load of influence in the game in the opening 10-15 minutes or so, but they haven't got the ball to him since then. Don't forget your chance to mull over everything that has happened tonight, not just here but in that Newcastle-Arsenal game as well, on the Sports Bar which follows us, and more reaction tomorrow morning with Laura Woods on Talk Sport Breakfast, looking ahead as well to everything going on out in Seville. Harry McCoy's so excited about the prospect of Rangers in another European final. And Talk Sport Breakfast tomorrow morning from 6 with the award-winning Laura Woods. Wow. Bell comes back and gets himself goal side of Sinani, wins the free kick, taken quickly again by Clark to find Campbell. Campbell will bring it forward and get it out towards Bree on the right-hand side. No goals, but the feeling that this could be an epic playoff semi-final second leg. Cornick. Snodgrass takes over to his right-hand side for Campbell. Campbell to the Luton right again. Back it comes from Burt. Left-footed ball clipped in. Hilton well beaten in the air. Is a well-timed jump by Lees to get it away. Loose ball in the midfield, lost by Clark. Sliding challenge from Naismith. Stops Rhodes being able to make his way forward, and it goes out of play for a Huddersfield.
What a tackle. Brilliant from Naismith. If he got that wrong, there's no question he was getting a yellow card. But again, two things I've noticed, Jim, and I have not seen Luton a lot this season, but it looks like Nathan Jones has looked at Liverpool in the way that they win the ball back, because they all hunt impacts. As soon as you give the ball away, it's like that 7-second thunder. But then when they're on the ball, centre-halves bomb them forward. It's like Chris Wilder's team, Sheffield United in the Premier League. He's took the best of the teams and moulded his side into it. They've been excellent.
Rhodes has got it as we go into 2 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. Now down towards O'Brien. Harry Toffolo on the Huddersfield left, approaching the edge of the area, clipping it in, looking for Rhodes. One header and then a second from the Luton back line. Get it away. Bradley finding touch. And a play for a throw that Pippa will take. 20 seconds into stoppage time. 0-0. But don't be fooled by the scoreline. This has been a cracking game of football. Hogg. To his left-hand side is Colwell. And he comes back for Hogg again. Pippa just trying to play on the shoulder of Bell. Trying to ascertain exactly when Hogg was going to play the ball forward. He didn't fancy his chances of finding him. And then Lees tried to turn it over the top for the runner. Holmes, but he overhit it. And it goes through the Luton goalkeeper, Matt Ingram. And both goalkeepers have had to make really good saves at times. The one that Ingram made from Toffolo, arguably his best save in a Luton Town shirt to date. Hasn't kept a clean sheet in any of his matches that he's played this season against Huddersfield. Two of them when he was playing for Hull. A clean sheet tonight, and he could end up being the hero. Lees heads the ball away. 1-1 on aggregate at the moment. Away goals, of course, have seldom featured in the playoff ties. They haven't been part of the playoff maths for 20 years or more now. Huddersfield working it forward. Rhodes drawing players towards him, letting the ball go through for Sinani. Now Sinani towards the edge of the penalty area, right at the end of the first half. Sliding challenge coming in. It was a poor one. Burke got Sinani before he got the ball, and Huddersfield will end the half with their best set-piece opportunity. It's a free kick. It's 8 yards outside the box, right of centre.
Reece Burke's just got to stay on his feet. He had Sinani exactly where he wanted him, but then he let him work the ball back onto his left foot. You could see he was going to run him down the line. He's probably got the pace to maybe stay with him, but when he gets it back onto his left foot there, Sinani, a couple of little jinks, and the time of the challenge is just completely wrong. But what an opportunity this is for Huddersfield. I mean, this would break the hearts of the Luton players, it really would.
So Ingram has asked for a 5-man wall. He's got a block of 4, and then he's got Campbell at gully to their slips, if you see what I mean. Sinani standing over it. Holmes is there as well. Sinani hands on hips, and he makes his way forward now. Holmes deliberately ran away from it. This is obviously all part of the thinking. Holmes ran over it. Sinani then just bent down, picked up the ball and adjusted it. Now he strikes it, left-footed. It wasn't worth the wait. Straight into the Luton fans. It's the last kick of the first half. Goalless, but boy has it been exciting. And still the most significant moment of this playoff semi-final lies ahead of us. Huddersfield 0, Luton 0, 1-1 on aggregate. And both sets of players are out for the second period, and I can't see any evidence of further changes being made. Huddersfield forced into one in the first half, where Rhodes came on for Ward. Sorba Thomas is being spoken to quite extensively now by Georges Alacon and Shika Palash, the Huddersfield coaches. So we might see him before too long, but we're not seeing him just at this juncture yet. Huddersfield, Nichols in goal, Lees, Hogg and Colwell, Pieper, Russell, O'Brien at Toffolo, and Holmes dropping in, Sinani up top with Rhodes, Luton, Ingram in goal, Burke, Bradley, Naismith, Bree, Campbell, Clark and Bell, Snodgrass and Hilton and Cornick. And we're back underway, the fourth of the 4 scheduled halves of football over this playoff semi-final. And will one side be able to outscore the other within it? And we haven't seen that in any of the previous 3 so far. Huddersfield with a really bright start, and they win a corner inside the opening 25 seconds. Clark sliding in, but powerless to stop Holmes' ball deflecting off him and going out for a flag kick.
Well, it was pretty similar start to what we saw from Luton in the first half. Worked the ball well down the right-hand side, but this time it's Huddersfield, and they have an opportunity of any corner.
So they've got 4 making a run from the edge of the penalty area. Left-footed in, swinging delivery, and it has hit Bell with a header. It comes back out for Toffolo. He's chipped it back in, and that header goes over the bar. Really well worked set piece, the initial one. Tom Lee's heavily involved in there. He might have been the man that got the first header in. Amari Bell did really well to react. He took a step back and just flicked his head to it, steer it wide. And for the next phase of play, Lee's heads it over the bar.
2 great early opportunities for Huddersfield. First one from the set piece. Again, Jim, tactical, the way they worked it. Everybody stood in a line. Made their moves towards that 6-yard area, got first contact, just saying to himself, just head it down, keep it low. But he couldn't jump high enough, and then O'Brien, just a lovely little floater ball to the back stick, and it was Lees who just got on the end of it, but again he had to make the power himself because there was none on the cross.
That's really well played by Jordan Rhodes, who picked up the ball facing the wrong way and just came back past a couple of challenges inside his own half to link up the play. Now he turns and makes his way through the middle. So the ball is sent out wide towards the right hand side. Pippa in towards Holmes, who's been very lively at the start of this second half. Maybe he was told that he's got 5 minutes before Sorba Thomas is coming on. But Holmes has had a really good start since the resumption. It's just unlucky there he ran out of room and has conceded a throw, which will be taken over on the Luton left. 0-0, 1-1 on aggregate.
Well, Luton certainly have to get themselves involved in this game in the second 45 minutes, because at the minute it's been all Huddersfield. They've got to just try and compose themselves, think about what they did in the first 45 minutes, how they got themselves out, was working the ball through that midfield area and just playing it down the sides and giving themselves those 1v1 and 2v1 situations, getting Cornick and Hilton involved in the game as quick as they possibly can. The sooner they can do that, the better they're going to settle down in the second 45 minutes.
So an amazing stat earlier. Huddersfield's playoff record is really good. This is their 10th playoff campaign. They've won promotion 4 times. How many playoff matches do you think they have won in 90 minutes? They've played 24. I'll come back to you in a moment. So the ball is played forward. Holmes chasing after it. Naismith's going to get there. Murmurs from the crowd that Holmes claiming that he was fouled. It's not a free kick. It is a throw, which will be taken over on the Huddersfield right and played back to Russell. Russell on the right-hand touchline. Turning it through the midfield for O'Brien. O'Brien onto his left foot, getting towards the edge of the penalty area, and it'll just come across the edge of the box. Sinani with an effort, and it's an easy save from Ingram. Just diving down at the foot of his near post and able to make the stop. And Nathan Jones just rotating his arms around the side of his body, just trying to get a little bit more tempo into it, I think, from Luton in this second half, because they haven't started yet.
No, absolutely not, and it's amazing what some of your teammates can see. They can sense the danger a little bit. Sinani this time took a little bit of a deflection as it went through there as well to Ingram. But listen to the crowd. I think that kind of tells you everything you need to know, Jim. Who is on top in this game?
Huddersfield have it again. Sinani. Back he goes towards Hogg. Now, it's amazing how this is mirroring what we saw the other night, where, again, Luton with a better team in the first half. Huddersfield, after the half-time team talk, came out completely different. And they're getting Hogg on the ball more now, as they did at Kenilworth Road on Friday. This time he's found O'Brien. And it'll be played forward over the halfway line. And Colwell will just deposit it at the feet of O'Brien. Back through the midfield for John Russell. Now to Lees. The crowd liking what they're seeing now. Hogg. So much gravitating through him at the moment. Down towards the left for Colwell. Colwell playing it forward towards the edge of the area, but Ingram can come out and make the save. So 24 playoff games they've played. They've won promotion 4 times. How many have they won in 90 minutes?
Well, with you asking me that question, I was going to say double figures, but
4.
Wow.
They've won promotion 4 times, and they've won 4 playoff ties.
Incredible.
In 90 minutes.
It's just incredible. I mean, I don't know if you can remember the last time they got promoted to the Premier League. I mean,
they didn't win any.
They stunk the place out, but they got there, didn't they?
Listen, I would take supporting a side that stunk the place out and won the playoffs. I'd not have a problem with that at all. And for the record, neither of these two are stinking the place out this time.
Without a doubt. It's been a brilliant tie. It really has. And whoever does get to the final, well, we know that Sheffield United and Nottingham Forest is on the knife edge as well, but we've got 4 great teams.
Now Bree, right-hand side of the penalty area for Luton. Cornick trying to get in there. Reece Burke was forward as well. Diving header, he missed. And it goes out towards the far touchline as Huddersfield clear it. Yeah, that last successful playoff campaign in 2017, where they beat Reading on penalties in the final, and they drawn both legs of the semi-finals and won that one on penalties, having had a negative goal difference in the regular league season, which is a combination that's never been achieved before or since. The ball is on the right-hand side for Luton. They're getting Burke forward now from centre-half. Driven in towards Hilton. He was just leaning into the goalkeeper. He's fouled Nichols. And it's going to be a free kick which will be taken by Huddersfield inside their own penalty area. Nichols not happy. Hilton's got a big broad grin on his face, the wily old warhorse. Be interesting to see how many minutes they get out of him. They've got Jerome on the bench. We've mentioned a couple of times that he's hardly started a game all season, Danny Hilton. He's not going to get the trip for 90 minutes, I wouldn't imagine. So what will the plan B be? Could well be Adebayo, that they're trying to get 90 or 120 out of the pair of them in tandem. Ball play forward here. Huddersfield are offside. Free kick to Luton, which Bell will take in the left-back position. 7 gone second half. You're listening to Huddersfield against Luton in the EFL Championship playoff semi-finals, live on TalkSport with McDonald's Fun Football. Search McDonald's Fun Football to find out more. Luton on the counter-attack again. Bree drives it in, hits the nearest Huddersfield player and comes out for Campbell. Campbell working it back for Bree. And then Campbell gets the return ball. Scotsman flicking it on, taking it on, down towards the byline, wrapping his right foot around it, and the header's a fraction wide. Bell coming onto it from left wing back. Nobody charted his run. He's headed it wide. Great chance for Luton in the second half, but Huddersfield have seen more of the ball.
Yeah, they certainly have, but a great opportunity there. Luton now starting to grow into this second half. Alan Campbell on the right-hand side, a little give and go. It looked like the opportunity had gone. Two players ran into each other, but the touch just played it towards the byline. Great ball into the area. And what a great opportunity there with a head there from Bell. Just needed to direct it towards goal.
Cornick making life difficult. Campbell poking it forward for Cornick. Well, the whistle has gone. The assistant referee is getting a mouthful from Levi Colwell. But it is a free kick to Huddersfield. It was given by the ref and not his assistant. I think that's the point that the Huddersfield centre-half is making. But it is going to be the Terriers' ball. Had those couple of seasons in the Premier League recently. Those the only ones they've had in the top flight since 1972. 2 years of top flight football out of the last 50. Luton have had more than that, but you've got to remember it was only 8 years ago that Luton were playing non-league football. 8 years and 3 weeks ago, their final game of the season, they were away to Hyde, and now they're nearly at Wembley with a chance to get into the Premier League for the very first time. Relegated from the top flight on the last day of the old First Division back in 1992. They haven't been there since. 0-0 on the night, 1-1 on aggregate. Naismith has it for Luton and has played it down for Burke. High right-footed ball sent down the right-hand touchline. Markings on the ball spinning as it comes down onto the head of Colwell, and then Bradley missed his challenge. Rhodes almost able to get in. Naismith has such a good eye. Really good anticipation from the former Portsmouth man, coming and sweeping up after a mistake from his fellow centre-half, Sonny Bradley. And Huddersfield have to make do with a throw.
That's what you want. You want from your defenders. Kai Naismith there just covering across from Sonny Bradley. Made a mistake. If you go to ground when that ball is played up, you have to make sure 100% you're going to win the ball. Jordan Rhodes, he's trying to spin it behind the centre-halves. He looked favourite, but brilliant recovering challenge there from Naismith.
Huddersfield had it worked by Holmes. Back down through the midfield to Tom Lees and to his left-hand side for Hogg, and now to Colwell. The three centre-halves all exchanging passes. Then it goes into the feet of O'Brien. Still a real intensity about Luton's work off the ball, an admirable intensity about it. It just makes you wonder how long they can last playing at this pace. Sorba Thomas isn't too far away now. His introduction is imminent. He's got the manager's arm around him at the moment. Just a couple of things that Carlos Corberán has seen.
Oh my goodness.
A throw given Huddersfield's way, which wasn't how those on the Luton Town bench saw it, and I'm guessing, Nicky, not how you saw it either.
I don't think the official knew exactly what he was given there. It was Carlos Corberán who put his arm up and pointed to the left. And the linesman, as I'm going to call him, he basically put his flag up after Corberán. I'm thinking, you don't really know whose that was.
Ball from O'Brien, free kick given away by Burt. And a set-piece opportunity for Huddersfield, albeit in quite a wide position and much nearer the halfway line than the edge of the penalty area. But it's a free kick that's taken quickly. O'Brien to Hogg. Now to Tom Lees. People making a good run in off the right-hand touchline, and he'll continue that as the ball is played down towards Holmes, but his touch was heavy and And Naismith can watch it over the line and out of play for a throw to be taken on the Luton left-hand side. The skies begin to just get a little bit more menacing again away to our right, the southern end of the ground. Luton fans in fine voice, as you can hear. It really has been a wonderful occasion. Crowd of around 24,000 here at the John Smiths Stadium. Is it going to be the majority or the minority who will be celebrating, potentially in only just a little over half an hour's time? But it does have the feeling of one that's going to go all the way.
It certainly does, Jim. I mean, we've been fortunate, Jim, over the last couple of weeks with the stadium alight, the home side scoring a goal, the stadium erupting. Hillsborough was incredible when Sheffield Wednesday got their goal. And I was at Leeds United yesterday, and when they got the late goal, the 92nd minute, the place, it felt like the roof was coming off the stadium, and it's got that feel tonight, whether it be the home support or this great travel and support from Luton Town, nearly 2,500 supporters, because they've enjoyed what they've seen so far.
It's the Hatters that have it. High left-footed ball from Naismith as we still wait for the deadlock to be broken. Bree clipping it inside the area. Hogg backpedals and heads it away. O'Brien takes it on. Can't get past Clark. Really well-timed challenge from him. It's worked it wide for Cornick. Cornick towards the edge of the area. Victim of a great challenge from Holmes. Then a less than good challenge coming in off the ball. And as a second foul is committed by Cornick, and the referee stops play, he'll revisit the earlier challenge and give Clark a deserved yellow card.
Yeah, absolutely. Deserved the yellow card there, Jordan Clark. It was Jordan Rhodes, I think, who was down on the ground. He came back to help out his defenders. Just played that little ball around the corner, and Clark just mistimed his tackle. Look, he went for the ball, he just mistimed it. But when you do that, I think we know exactly what's going to happen. The referee did the right thing. Peter Banks, he tried to play on. There was another foul. And I think, Jim, we're going to have another substitution in this game.
Yep. Sorba Thomas is going to be coming on. Already seen Ward off injured, and Rhodes came on for him. Thomas on shortly for Huddersfield. The Welsh international, the Terriers on the front foot, trying to work it in towards Rhodes at the near post. Horrible one for the goalkeeper, but he was fouled. Rhodes coming in at the near post. He got the top of his foot to it, so the ball went steepling up in the air. And everybody was looking at it coming down, and Rhodes jumped for it, and so too did the goalkeeper. A collision between the pair of them was inevitable, and then when that collision happens, it's also seemingly inevitable that the referee is going to blow his whistle and find in favour of the goalkeeper. Here's the change. Danel Sinani coming off, and Sorba Thomas, a massive favourite here, comes on. Thomas, who just a couple of seasons ago reached the National League playoff final with Boreham Wood. Now he comes on for his 50th appearance of this season. The bearded Welshman back from injury. He gets half an hour, or maybe an hour. We're not quite sure yet. An hour on the clock. It's 0-0. Mickey Gray.
Can he be the game changer? You listen to that reception that Sorba Thomas got as he came onto the field there. Sinani's done nothing wrong. He's created a couple of opportunities for this Huddersfield side, but I think it was time for that change. Oh, please.
O'Brien's gone down. He's fouled by Campbell, who then toe-poked the ball away, and another angry reaction between people on either bench. And Nathan Jones is coming across, and he's just having a word with the fourth official, and he's explaining why he thinks it was the decision was incorrect. Explaining it slightly more eloquently than a few of his colleagues on the bench, who reacted very angrily to the wrath from their Huddersfield counterparts, but it's all very quickly been calmed down by fourth official Michael Salisbury. Let's go back to St James's Park. Graham Courtney.
Yeah, still Newcastle 0, Arsenal 0. Not a great deal of play though since we were last year, Jim, after Fabian Schär. Well, it was one of those where Eddie Nketiah has come in, and I suspect they both got their eyes on the ball, and Fabian Schär has been given a right good clatter, a bit of a forearm smash, but the referee's just given Nketiah a yellow card. Probably semi-accidental, but there we go. So we've only got, I'd have thought, a couple of minutes play. 50 minutes on the clock here. Still though, Newcastle 0, Arsenal 0.
Sorba Thomas taking the free kick, fires it towards the edge of the penalty area. It's beaten everybody. Goes out of play for a goal kick. which will be taken away to the left-hand side by Ingram. Huddersfield 0, Luton Town 0. Tomorrow on the TalkSport Breakfast, Laura Woods with Ali McCoist in Seville, looking ahead to Rangers against Eintracht Frankfurt. We've got the Europa League final on Wednesday night. Charlie Adam alongside me for that from the Raul Sanchez Pizjuan in Seville. And tomorrow it's Laura Woods, Ali McCoist on TalkSport Breakfast, looking ahead to the game, looking back tonight on the Arsenal result at Newcastle on this as well. Darren Bent joining them from 8 o'clock as well. TalkSport Breakfast tomorrow morning from 6. Ball with Ingram, 0-0 here. Mickey Graham.
Well, that incident that we just had, Jim, with Lewis O'Brien and Alan Campbell, where he kind of toe punted the ball away from just underneath his head, and it didn't deserve that type of reaction because it's not that kind of game. There was no malice, there was not much contact towards Campbell's head, but he started to hold on to it to get the referee to come across to maybe pick that yellow card out of his pocket. No, this game has flowed so well, it really has. You've got 22 honest players out here who just want to go and try and win a football match, and I hope it continues that way.
Ball is on the Huddersfield left-hand side with Holmes, and he's played it square to the blonde-haired, round-shouldered Lewis O'Brien, back from him to Hogg to Tom Lees, and then that's a thumping challenge from behind by Naismith, and that will earn him a yellow card.
Absolutely.
Just a little welcome to the game there for Sorba Thomas. Was it over on the far touchline, and Naismith's clattered into it.
Yeah, welcome to the game is basically what that challenge is on Sorba Thomas there from Kai Naismith, who's had a fantastic game, but he doesn't want to mar that. It was a yellow card challenge, silly. He's came in from behind Sorba Thomas, trying to slow him down, just give him a little bit of a nick on the back of his ankle or his Achilles tendon. Back to the olden days that one was.
Except in the olden days you could have that as a free shot to start with, be okay, free kick. Not these days, and rightly. Thomas is fine, takes this free kick, right footed, high inside the area for Tom Lees. But the referee has spotted an infringement. It doesn't count as a free kick. It was a great delivery in from Thomas. Lees met it with a free header, but in the jockeying for position once the ball had been played, a Luton player went down on the edge of his own penalty area, and the referee has said that that was a foul, and he's chalked off the goal.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame for Tom Lees. I mean, it's a great ball into the area from Thomas, and Lees gets away from his man. I'm just wondering whether the player that went to ground was actually designated to mark Tom Lees as that ball comes into the area, but the referee was in a perfect position and he blew his whistle very early. The glitter started flying everywhere above us, Jim, but unfortunately for these Huddersfield players, that goal does not count.
They went early with the smoke bombs as well from the Huddersfield end, and that blue smoke still wisps around at the south end of the ground. Luton make a change. Hilton off, Jerome on. Adebayo still waiting in the wings. 0-0. Tom Lees' header disallowed. First time the ball's been in the net tonight. 20 minutes gone in the second half. Huddersfield turning it forward again. And Thomas with the fresh legs chasing after it. Getting to the loose ball first. Poking it into space for Holmes. Holmes firing it inside the penalty area. Bradley's there to clear it out of play for a throw.
Super play from Holmes. Working now on this left-hand side. Just got it onto his right foot. Looked like it was a weak cross, but they're the ones that defenders absolutely hate. Just bouncing in front of them. You can come off the top of your laces. But great defending in the end. But you can see now those changes. Huddersfield have made that change, and it just spurred a bit of life into this Huddersfield side, bringing Sorba Thomas onto this pitch.
Huddersfield once more. Oh, that's decidedly optimistic from Pippa. 30 yards out, right-hand side of the penalty area, and he's fired it way wide. Player hasn't scored all season, and he still hasn't. But midway through the second half, Huddersfield 0, Luton 0.
See the frustration there, Jim. Sorba Thomas on that right-hand side as the ball was picked up there by Pippa. He had acres of space. But Pippa from 25, 30 yards out, taking a shot on that. No, it's got to be a wonder strike to get past Ingram.
Hogg heads the ball away. Cameron Jerome will make his way forward through the middle for Luton as Bell Tries to work it down the touchline. Throw won by Luton, and Cornick will dry the white ball on his orange shirt. Just on the bottom of his shirt. It's a cue for Bradley to come forward, for Burke to come forward. Jerome, another 6-footer around the edge of the penalty area. Snodgrass is in there as well. Hogg's got an eye on him. Long throw in towards the near post. Luton looking for a flick that wasn't forthcoming. O'Brien with a second header away, but Bell can turn it back out towards Harry Cornick. Back towards Bell, on the byline, can he get a cross in? Didn't fancy it on his weaker foot, laid it back instead. Cornick with the effort in, and Colwell heads it away, out for a Luton corner, which is their first of the second half.
Yeah, brilliant play again from Luton. 3 or 4 players just around the edge of the 18-yard area, all just waiting for the ball to be played to them, just so they can get the strike away. But brilliant challenge from Colwell just to clear his lines.
We'll get news of the goal in Newcastle in a moment, after this Luton Town corner, which will be taken on the right-hand side. Suffice to say, it's Newcastle that lead at St James's Park. We'll get details in a moment. Corner to be taken on the Luton right by Snodgrass, in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Jerome going up for it, can't get there. Free kick here to Luton, which Snodgrass will stand over. It was Amari Bell that was making his way forward, and his deft touch past Russell was too good for the youngster in the Huddersfield midfield. He caught him, and an opportunity now for one of 3 Luton players to work this forward. Naismith stands over it. Snodgrass is there. Bree is there as well. Nearly everybody else from a Luton perspective in a line on the edge of the box. 20 to go. 0-0. 1-1 on aggregate. It is Snodgrass, left-footed, flighted in with pace. Jerome with a header across the face of goal and wide. Nobody could get in there at the far post. Well-worked set piece, but it remains 0-0.
Another great ball in from Robert Snodgrass. So he's done that throughout the whole of his career with that left foot. Corners, wide free kicks. This one was more central. And you want willing players to try and get on the end of it. Cameron Jerome just gets away from his mark and just tries to direct it across goal. And he actually gets a little bit too much on it. What a great opportunity.
Throw to Luton. Midway inside the Huddersfield half, which they will take on the far touchline, which is their left. That's going to be Amari Bell, who played the 300th senior game of his career the other night. Former Fleetwood and Blackburn player. Played in these playoffs with Fleetwood a few years ago. He's got it again now. And it's worked forward through the midfield for Campbell. Down from Campbell to the right-hand side. For Luton for James Bree. To Reece Burke. Burke back for Bradley. Bradley to his goalkeeper, onto Ingram's favoured left foot so he can get it clear. High ball for them. Cornick's offside. Free kick that Huddersfield will take midway between the edge of the penalty area and the halfway line. Tomorrow night, the other Championship playoff semi-final second leg. We'll find out who plays the winner of this. Sheffield United trailing Nottingham Forest by 2-1 after the first leg. They're at the City Ground tomorrow night. A home draw will do Forest and get them through to the final as they look to rejoin the elite after more than 20 years away. That's tomorrow night, 7:45 kickoff. Live from the City Ground on TalkSport. Ian Dante commentating for you. Toffolo, left-hand side of the penalty area. He stumbles and Burke doesn't have to make a challenge. Ball coming off Toffolo and out of play for a goal kick that will be taken away to our left-hand side. Huddersfield benefactor Dean Hoyle just stands up from his seat in the director's box away to our left-hand side. Just looked for a moment as though he possibly couldn't look, just trying to burn up some nervous energy. He's earned the right to do that however he wants. He's just walking down the stairs and back up them again. Away to our left, 18 minutes to go. We're 80% of the way through this second leg, and through normal time anyway, but it does feel as though it's going to go to extra time. 0-0, ball played forward. James Bree nodding it down. Jerome to Cornick, right-hand side of the box, beaten away by the goalkeeper. Chance on the edge of the area for Bree. Good touch from Russell, got it away. Then Clark whips one in. That one is cleared. O'Brien tries to bring it further clear, and he was caught. And it's going to be a free kick which will be taken in the midfield, but it's Luton all of a sudden that are finding the half chances coming their way.
They're getting in behind this back line of Huddersfield. James Bree and Cornick. I'm just wondering whether Cornick, yes, it was a tight angle and it was a fantastic save in the end, but I see 2 or 3 Luton players just running in at that back post. He was maybe better just trying to square that one along the ground. The ball eventually comes out to James Bree and he's waiting, and the ball just won't settle down for him, and it just gives Huddersfield the opportunity to get back and just clear the lines. And Jim, Jordan Rhodes just came on the field. He's done more defending in this game than he probably has done throughout the whole of the season. You've got to play him further up the field. He's not getting a chance in the final third of the game.
They certainly haven't created a worthwhile opening for him yet. Will they be able to now? He's waiting patiently inside the penalty area and he's making a darting near post run. Bradley goes with him. No foul on Bradley. And Rhodes has got the ball at his feet, finds Toffolo chipping it in. Bell lets it run across his body. Thomas, shot comes in, beaten away by the goalkeeper. Ingram might have been going wide from Pipa anyway. Then back in, and a header coming across to the other post. And the goalkeeper, as he brought his man down. Referee says no, there's no VAR, and Huddersfield are absolutely incensed. Toffolo goes over and bellows in the face of referee Peter Banks. The header came down towards the post. The goalkeeper got his hands on it. It came out of his grasp. Toffolo then making his way towards the loose ball. The goalkeeper tries to get there, and he's flicked with his hip the right leg of Toffolo, who goes down. Toffolo makes sure the referee realises that contact is made, but for me, that is a penalty.
It's a pen. In my eyes, Jim, that's a penalty. I mean, take nothing away from the 2 saves from Ingram, but when Toffolo goes through there, look, there's that much contact with Toffolo. I think there might be a slight touch from the goalkeeper Ingram, but, you know, he's kind of dove across Toffolo's legs. I mean, you can sense or you can hear the noise in this stadium as that was playing through there. Didn't even have to see a replay, and I'm out my seat waiting for the referee to blow his whistle for a penalty.
Well, that's a massive let-off for Luton. Huddersfield will certainly feel a sense of injustice after that, and they've got to use it as a positive force and not let it frustrate them. O'Brien is in there strongly, and he's caught Snodgrass, and it's going to be a Luton free kick 20 yards outside the box. Now you have to remember there is going to be VAR for the final at this level, and League One and League Two, but no VAR for the semi-finals. If there was VAR, I'm absolutely convinced that would have been overturned and the referee would have given a penalty to Huddersfield.
Yeah, I'm in your camp with this one, Jim. I mean, there was that much contact on Toffolo. Look, he was going away from goal, but that doesn't matter. The goalkeeper, Ingram, has dove across. He's taken both of his legs away. Toffolo's trying to keep the ball in play, and there's so much contact. The referee he's got to see that. You know, these are the massive decisions in a semi-final like this, the playoff semi-finals. That's the big chance, whether you've got the chance up from the penalty spot to get you to Wembley Stadium in the final or not. Huge call.
Bree will take this free kick for Luton, and a diving header, an acrobatic one, goes wide from one of the Huddersfield players. Is it Rhodes that
Jordan Rhodes again, Jim?
It was an excellent piece of defending. It's a corner to Luton, and they're on the front foot. And again, Rhodes' principal contributions not where Huddersfield wanted to be. Corner on the Luton right. 13 minutes of normal time to go. 0-0. Huddersfield should have had a penalty. Left-footed ball swung inside the penalty area, and Rhodes got his head to that, and Nichols got his hands to it, but only after it had gone back over the line and out of play for another corner, and Snodgrass will do it all again from the Luton right, and this will be the Hatters' 8th corner of the night. 0-0 the scoreline in this playoff semi-final second leg.
You've got to give 2 managers the credit for the set pieces and the way they're setting up defensively and offensively. I mean, they have been on it.
This one works short for Bree. It's back for Snodgrass again. Snodgrass He's got Holmes facing him up. Snodgrass still able to clip it in left-footed. Half cleared. Cornick misses his kick from the edge of the penalty area. Huddersfield whack it away. But Bell's going to be able to pick it up on halfway for Luton. And he will bring it forward. Finds Bree. And both wing-backs for Luton within 2 yards of each other for a moment there. Bree wins a throw and will wait for Bell to get back into his more customary position before restarting play with the throw back for Sonny Bradley on halfway. Well, Huddersfield had the ball in the net with a Tom Lees header, and Bradley went down on the edge of the penalty area. Free kick given to Luton for that. And Toffolo seemed to be brought down, and the referee didn't give a penalty. Ingram comes out, sweeps up. There's a long ball sent forward for Jordan Rhodes to chase, and Ingram got there first, and he's whacked it into the crowd. It's a throw on halfway on the Huddersfield right. 78 gone 0-0.
Yeah, Sober Thomas just getting on the half turn there. Showed his great vision. Saw the run of Jordan Rhodes, just got a little bit too much curl on it, and gave the opportunity to Luton to just clear their lines there. Ingram, he was on his toes. Great contact. I just can't believe how open this game has been from start to finish. There's no let up in the work rate from both sets of players. They're just waiting for that one opportunity. We've had the ball, as you mentioned, Jim, in the back of the net. It was a foul and that big penalty call.
Toffolo firing across inside the penalty area, which Bell heads clear. Pippa will pick it up on the right-hand touchline for Huddersfield. Still 0-0 on TalkSport. Pippa's crossing towards the far post. Good defensive header. Goes out of play for a throw to Huddersfield on the left. The Terriers beginning to build up a head of steam. Still Arsenal, a goal down at Newcastle. It has been, as Graham suggested, officially credited as a Ben White own goal. Jerome barrels into Hogg. Play goes on. Now the referee might have a word with him in a moment, but Huddersfield have got it. And the advantage is being played here by referee Peter Banks.
Well, Hogg, he needed to know who was around him, and Cameron Jerome, I mean, he's just homing down on him there. When he's made that challenge, I think it will be pulled back when this play is finished, and he will get a yellow card. But as a last defender, don't be taking chances like that.
Toffolo heads it forward. Jordan Rhodes has got Bradley's arms around him. He's still able to play it back towards O'Brien. O'Brien's left-footed ball in, takes a deflection, and Ingram's forced to punch it clear under pressure at the near post and out of play for a throw. And now it's gone out. The referee does come back and produce the yellow card for Cameron Jerome.
He had to do that, Jim. I mean, it was a silly challenge from Cameron Jerome. I mean, obviously momentum's taken him forward. He's got to stretch for it. Hogg has just tried to clear his lines. He's not made contact with the ball whatsoever. And then Huddersfield go and break down the other end, and again it's Ingram who's just had to clear his lines by fisting the ball away.
Well, the opportunities have come every 3.5 minutes since the very first whistle, but somehow it's still 0-0. 9 minutes of normal time to go. 13 shots to 9 in Luton's favour, 6 shots on target to 3 in their favour. Huddersfield with a long throw inside the box, near post header, flicks it on into the danger area, but Luton will be able to bring it away with Bree. Wanted a bit too much time. Jerome goes down theatrically, but the initial challenge from Bree has been punished. He fouled Hogg. Free kick to Huddersfield, level the left-hand edge of the box and 10 yards outside the penalty area.
And just after that, there was a challenge, a bit of a free challenge for Dwayne Holmes on Cameron Jerome. But Huddersfield won the foul before that initial second challenge there. And again, you know, this is another set piece. We'll see how interesting it is to see where Huddersfield set up their line. But if the quality's right here, which it has been so far from Sober Thomas since he came onto the field, you've got to commit. You've got to take that risk. Stay on side. Just get that half a yard away from your marker and make sure you get first contact.
Well, we haven't seen a goal in the last 140 minutes of action between these two. In comes a free kick. We have now Thomas firing it in. A melee at the far post. And Jordan Rhodes is the man that side-puts it into the net. All roads lead to Wembley for Huddersfield Town. 8 minutes to hang on. And they have been sparked by that feeling of injustice. Sober Thomas's set-piece delivery was immense. Rhodes doing what he's done throughout his career, being in the right place at the right time, and Huddersfield lead it with 82 minutes gone. Huddersfield 1, Luton 0. They're 2-1 up on aggregate. They're 8 minutes from Wembley in the playoff final.
This is just incredible. You know, you talk about the quality of the set pieces we've seen in this game. Sorba Thomas, he came onto the field, he just whips it into that area. It's so difficult to defend. And Jordan Rhodes, we talked about how well he's done defensively. His first opportunity, the fox in the box, he gets away from his marker, he wants it more than his marker. He stretches out that right foot and he just slots it into the back of the net. We talked about the stadiums erupting in these playoff games. Well, this place has just erupted. Listen to that now. It's just incredible. What a game we have had in our hands tonight. Absolutely incredible.
Close. Amari Bell's the Luton defender. Rhodes just stole a march on him coming in at the far post. It's only his 4th goal of the season. It's his 91st for Huddersfield Town in his spells here. One of the most important. They lead 1-0, 6.5 minutes to go. Now Luton's performance has been very impressive tonight. They'll certainly feel that they at least deserve to get this to extra time. It'd be hard to argue with that. Will they be able to find the equalising goal? They've only scored 1 against Huddersfield all season in the thick end of 4 games. They desperately need one now. And Naby Sarr's going to be coming on in a moment for Huddersfield. And that'll just be another body behind the ball. Bree has it for Luton. Back from him for Clark. Chips inside the area for Jerome, who's offside. Free kick to Huddersfield. And by the time we take it, they'll be in the last 5 minutes.
It's fine margins, Jim, isn't it? You talk about winning and losing football matches, and we talked how tight and tense this game was going to be, and it just needed that one bit of quality. And boy, have we just seen it. And you feel for the losers in this game because it's been such an entertaining game, as was the Sheffield United Nottingham Forest game. And the second tie is going to be incredible in that. But whoever gets to the final in this, and we know what Huddersfield are like when they take the lead, they're making a change now, they're bringing on the defender just to make it even more difficult for Luton to break them down. They are going to hang on for their lives to get to that final whistle. We thought for all we were going to see extra time penalties in this game. But at the moment, it looks like the energy's just been sapped out of this Luton side. We've got 5 minutes to go, and whatever's added on top of that for Luton to try and get back into this game. But wow, what a finish from Jordan Rhodes.
Both sides have made changes, details in a moment. First of all, though, back to St James's, Graham Courtney.
And it is still Newcastle 1, Arsenal 0. And Arsenal actually having probably their best spell of the game so far. But they still only had 2 shots on target. The bottom line for them, don't forget, it now means they must score twice in this game without reply to have a chance of maintaining their position to head for the European Champions League. And at the moment, it's not looking good. Newcastle 1, Arsenal 0.
Carlos Mendes-Gomez scored the winner for Morecambe in the League 2 playoff final last season. He's just come on to try and help Luton get to the Championship playoff final. He's replaced Reece Burke in an attack-minded change. Sarr on for Holmes for Huddersfield, a very defence-minded change. That would make you think that the vast majority of possession in the closing moments will be with Luton, but will they be able to make the most of it? Luton have flattened off to a back 4. Mendes-Gomez playing in a dynamic attacking midfield position, and Sarr has slotted in to the back line for the Terriers, with Hogg moving forward into midfield. 86 gone, Huddersfield 1, Luton 0. Here is Naby Sarr, former Charlton man, playing it forward towards Russell. Russell pokes out towards the right for Sorba Thomas. Thomas on the edge of the penalty area, pulling it back. O'Brien had to stretch to bring it under control, but he's managed that. Here's Harry Toffolo. Toffolo taking it down towards the left-hand touchline. Just controlling it, letting the ball almost grind to a halt. But Breeze there and able to bring it away. Snodgrass trying to protect it in the midfield. Has he won a free kick? He hasn't. Brought forward. Snapshot from 30 yards out from Pippa. But he had a sighter earlier that was far from spectacular. He hit that one so sweetly, but it's gone over the bar by a couple of feet.
Well, that was travelling. from Pippa. A little bit closer in this time. It just dipped over the top of the crossbar. Is it too early to start running the ball into the corners, Jim?
No, I would suggest. There's going to be a fair bit of time added on, I think. But it's all about match management. It's just making sure that the ball is in play for as little time as possible if you're Huddersfield.
Yeah, absolutely right. But on 2 occasions, Sorba Thomas was running to that right-hand side. He just had a quick look over his left shoulder, tried to play the ball into the box 2 occasions, give the ball back to Luton, which give them the opportunity to break forward.
And now O'Brien breaks forward for Huddersfield. And the referee is going to book Campbell, is he? For that challenge as the free kick is given. He's going to be the 4th Luton player to have his name taken. And Campbell coming back, he half dispossessed Thomas with a loose ball breaking through the midfield, and he couldn't take any chances. Adebayo is going to be coming on for Luton Town, and he'll be on very shortly. He's not going to get much of a run. Nearly in the 90th minute. 1-0 to Huddersfield Town. Free kick taken by Hogg. Bend out towards the right-hand side. Huddersfield get a corner. Luton just can't get the foothold back in the game. They can't get possession at the moment. Huddersfield managing this situation very cleverly. Luton's changed. He's Cornick come off. And Elijah Adebayo will come on. 16 league goals this season for the former Walsall striker. His next will be the 50th senior goal of his career. Has he got that immaculate sense of timing that so many great strikers have? Because Luton needed to come now. 30 seconds of normal time to go. Luton have to score. They're 1-0 down in the night, 2-1 down in aggregate. Sorba Thomas towards the edge of the Luton penalty area. Can't find a way through. Campbell brings it away. Campbell down towards Bree. Bree chipping it long over the top. Chested down, but not effectively by Cameron Jerome. Hogg can clear his lines. Bell goes up for it with Thomas. Heads it out towards the left-hand side for Mendes Gomez for Luton. And now a left-footed ball forward from Bell. They'll try and get Jerome to flick it on. He can flick it on, but away from Adebayo, and it'll go through for goalkeeper Nichols, who did his best to shepherd it over the line and out for a goal kick. It wasn't quite going to get there, so he eventually picks it up. And we're in 4 added minutes, Mickey. It's 1-0.
Jim, I'm just looking at Adebayo there. I mean, he's running towards the goalkeeper to try and close him. He just doesn't look like he can run. Never mind anything else. Maybe that's why they've put him on so late. And maybe they've just put him on the bench to maybe threaten Huddersfield Town to say, well, he's on the bench, we're going to bring him on for half an hour, but he's not fit.
Thomas plays it forward. It's Jordan Rhodes. Sliding challenge was brilliantly timed by Bradley when he had no margin for error. Campbell works it back to his goalkeeper, and it is cleared upfield. Toffolo heads it down through the midfield. Snodgrass is first to it for Luton. And he'll play it out towards the left-hand side now. The Hatters need is desperate. They work it forward towards Jerome. Sarr gets it clear, but only to Mendes Gomez, whose touch takes it away from Pippa out towards the touchline. Left-footed ball swept in. Coming to meet it with Snodgrass. Good diving header from Hogg, got it clear. And Thomas just skips away through the midfield. And now he's on his bike. 3 against 2 for a moment. Huddersfield working forward towards O'Brien. So much space on the right-hand side for Rhodes. And Rhodes will control it. And his destination is the corner flag. Tries to win a throw but fails. He's poked it off Bell. And Luton will bring it away with Mendes Gomez. And we've played 90 seconds of the 4 additional minutes. And Luton get a free kick just inside Huddersfield territory. 1-0 to Huddersfield.
They just have to push players forward now. If they don't do that, it's another season for Luton Town in the Championship. You might as well take the risks and just press everybody forward. Get that ball in that Huddersfield area as much as you can.
Ball is headed on and straight through to Lee Nichols, the Huddersfield keeper. And half the 4 minutes have already elapsed. And again, Nichols just waits for Adebayo to come and challenge him before he picks the ball up. And Adebayo can't put his his creaking body through it.
He can't move, Jim. I don't know why they've made that substitution. Look, whether they're going to try and get the ball in the air and he heads one in, I don't know. But he's just not fit. You can see the way he's running. He's holding on to his hamstrings.
It's launched long again in his general direction. He comes to meet it and does so from an offside position. And it's a free kick to Huddersfield. And there's only going to be a minute left by the time they take it. They're nearly there. Wembley beckons. Is it going to be an all Yorkshire final? Is it going to be Huddersfield Forest? We'll find out tomorrow. It certainly looks as though it's going to be the Terriers now. They are singing of Wembley. 22,000 West Yorkshire Doris days around us. Long punted for by Nichols, just trying to get Luton back inside their own half. Russell, who's had an excellent game. Oh, good turn from him on the edge of the penalty area, and still he's kept possession, and he works it wide out towards the right-hand touchline. And Huddersfield get a throw out of it. And that will be that, because there's only about 20 seconds to go. Wow. Incredible noise here at the John Smith Stadium. And you wait till you hear the cheer in just a few moments' time. You'll be in no doubt when the referee's blown his full-time whistle, I promise you that. Ball play forward again down the right-hand touchline, and a play for a Luton throw. The referee runs as close to the tunnel as he can, and that is that. Huddersfield fans sprint on from all sides. They're 90 minutes away from a return to the Premier League, and Luton's brave and brilliant season comes to an end, and the Huddersfield fan has come on and has had a pot shot at Sonny Bradley, and there's just a little bit of over-exuberance. To the Luton defenders, immense credit. There was no reaction from him at all. But there's white and blue smoke bombs going off all over the place, and about 1,500, 2,000 fans have run onto the pitch. The Huddersfield players, heroes one and all, in there somewhere. I think most of the Luton players have been able to get off. They trudge off with long faces, but the job they've done over the course of this season has been absolutely immense. Ultimately, though, it ends in playoff despair. They gave a great account of themselves tonight, a better performance than they did in the first leg at Kenilworth Road, but it wasn't to be. They didn't take their chances when they were created. Huddersfield took one, the season striker Jordan Rhodes, poking home 8 minutes from time, and that was enough. Huddersfield 1, Luton 0, 2-1 to the Terriers on aggregate, and they will play either Nottingham Forest or Sheffield United at Wembley on Saturday week.